個碗粥咁好味。 Me, 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 me. Me. Hello, hello? Hello, everybody? It's me, it's Krillin. I'm streaming at 2:30 Krillin time. This is very strange. This is very unusual. Hello. We're doing it. My name is Krillin. Hello. I play video games a lot of the times. I stream them some of the times, including at unusual times. Like right meow, which is what we're doing this afternoon. I hope everybody's had a good morning. And I figured since I did not work today, I would entertain those who do and are able to watch while working. With some inane banter and video games. Before I forget, music is provided by OC Remix. You check them out at ocremix.org, stream them at rainwave.cc, free to use on your own streams. Just gotta give them a shout out, which I'm doing right now. Hello, all of you lovely people. I did not expect there to be anyone in here this morning, let alone all of these lovely folks. We have Bags, we have Bastion, we have Shirt, we have Arrow, we have Comrade, and I think that's everything. What a morning. What a morning. I guess afternoon would be more accurate. What an afternoon. Hope everybody's keeping well. I know I am. I'm pretty excited to get through Act 3 in Path of Exile here, so we can move. Oh wait, I didn't move on to my just chatting screen. Oop. So we can move on to the maps. I just finished a nap. Hey, beloved community member Latino Heat 4000. I have a video for you to edit. How's it going? How you doing? How is everybody? Yeah, I forgot to switch to my just chatting screen because this is weird. This is not the normal time Krillin streams, but we're gonna do something different because we got the day off. I wasn't doing anything else. There's no news. I have like nothing to share video game wise since, I don't know, less than 24 hours ago. We did get some exciting news regarding Magic the Gathering for any of you Magic the Gathering fans. We had a ban and unban announcement today, and some pretty big changes were made to the modern format, which a lot of people are really excited about. A couple beloved cards are unbanned. A couple really obnoxious cards had been banned, so everybody's feeling pretty good in the Magic sphere at the moment, which is always nice. If I had to guess what Shirley has been doing, I had to guess they have been knitting. Welcome in, Mrs. Killer. How's it going? How you doing? How you been? I know it's been, hours since we chatted on Shirley's stream, so I figured people were missing me. So I started streaming. Yeah, honestly, you just put your paintbrush in your coffee or your drink, Classic. But they have for miniatures painting, and I'm sure they have this for any style of painting. And apparently they need it for knitting folks as well. There's a very specific holder that what's the Games Workshop puts out for your brushes while you're painting. It's basically a misshapen coffee mug, so you'll never think of it as a coffee mug. And it's got a ring of clasps outside and inside, so you can hold your brush on the outside of the cup if you don't want to rinse or soak your brushes yet, or you can hold it on the inside of the cup if you do. And then it has a bunch of other random things to be useful for painting, like a surface that you can thin your paints on and things like that, which doesn't really strictly seem necessary since, you know, basically as long as humanity's existed, we've just been putting our brushes in mugs that we have around the house. It's also obscenely priced, which lines up with Games Workshop materials, but it amused me when I saw it at a game store, because I'm like, you know, someone's gonna buy that with the assumption that they're not gonna put their brush in their coffee, and they're still gonna put their brush in their coffee. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves. That's where it goes. Big yawn. I did just wake up from a nap, so we'll probably be a little yawny as I go through. And yeah, let's get through. Let's get through it. Hold on, I want to find this brush to the internets. No, that's not it. Okay, a cursory Google search did not yield results. You're just gonna drink the paint water by mistake. Thankfully, you might dip the paint water, but you probably won't drink it. You might sip it, but unlikely to swallow, as paint water tends to taste bad. Little bad. Also, for both Mrs. Killer and for Shirley, no open containers next to your projects. Capped, lidded containers. Capped, lidded containers only. You can't put things in them, and you can't spill them. The concept. I spend so much of my time around electronics that capped lidded containers are basically all I ever drink out of. Even though I don't spill, but if I did spill, now when I did, I won't ruin thousands and thousands of dollars of electronics. Oh, I think this is it. Nope, that's not it. I'm deep in the doldrums at this point. Let's just move on. Let's just move on. Last time on Path of Exile 2, we had that just makes too much sense. Yeah, I know. I'm well aware. Last time we had emptied a waterway, which is to say we had dammed up a canal, which, fun fact, immediately drained this and somehow didn't flood all of this area instantly, which is what it would have done, because if you just stop the water from flowing down here, the water has to go somewhere, and it's going to go up here. Oh, we can move it slightly, but it doesn't, because this is a video game. But anyway, we've revealed this city by going through the waterways. Now Alva wants us to go through the drowned city to get a little a key, so we can get into this temple. So we're probably gonna have to go to the drowned city, and we're probably gonna have to go to this molten vault. We're probably gonna have to go to this apex of filth, which is just a great name if we're honest with ourselves. And then we'll likely finish up this act in the Temple of Kopek. There might be another thing over here, perhaps, but this looks like we've reached the penultimate sections of this particular act. Which, once we're done with this, we're going to go back to Act 1. We're going to do all this over again, whenever it decides to load. So, there we have it. We're back on our ranger. We're shooting arrows. They're lightning arrows. We're shooting them as quickly as we can. And we're making monsters get frozen with some creative use of game mechanics. That's the gist of it. Oh, that's horrifying. Don't love that at all. What? This city was literally underwater. Why am I not being attacked exclusively by fish people? I want to see what this debuff is. Vortex. Okay. Oh, it's cold vortex? That skill already exists. How's everybody's Monday been going? What's everybody been doing? Hopefully everybody's been having a good start to their week. I was just lamenting to Bastion that Bottleneck Gallery, which is a place that I go for high-quality art prints and the like, just released a 3D or a 3-layer shadow boxy style of TMNT's issue 1, the cover of TMNT's issue 1 by Eastman and Laird, and it's layered. Enjoy that pun. It was very spectacular looking, and it sold out in 11 minutes, which is annoying as heck. But they always do. They're limited edition and they're highly collectible, so you often have to be pretty darn early to get one. I'm a little sad that I didn't grab one myself. But I do have 2 of my own prints that I need to get frames for. Thank you, Bastion. Currently, they've arrived. I have not got prints for them just yet, so getting a 3rd one without having framed the last 2 is a dangerous road. It's sort of like buying a board game when you have several board games that you haven't gotten to the table yet. That way lies madness. Or buying a video game without having finished your last video game, which isn't a way that lies madness, because literally all of us do this, but mayhaps we shouldn't. Mayhaps we shouldn't. Ow, Steam sales. I've been particularly good regarding Steam sales lately, and not even lately, for the past several years. If I'm not going to either install and start playing the game right away, or within an immediate sort of time, so like I'm almost done with something, I just don't buy it. That has helped my backlog remain, I'm not going to use the word manageable, because much like anybody else I know's Steam backlog, it is beyond manageable. But it's stopped it from growing too much. So now, instead of saving $15 on a game that I might not ever play, I save all of the money on it and spend that extra $15 on a game I'm going to play immediately that might not be on sale. That's served me well as a strategy. That being said, I will still get Humble Bundles because, well, the value on a Humble Bundle is usually pretty ridiculous. Sounds like a horrible plan. Well, does it? Frog people. Hop like frogs, die like people. It's close, right? It's not quite the same, but you all get the point. We've murdered so many fish by draining those canals. All of these fish are dead. Just got to be rich enough to get every game, and then they don't count as a backlog as part of the collection. The only issue I have with a Steam library as a collection is that you don't own anything on there. you own nothing, and I'm a big proponent of physical media for that purpose. Speaking of which, I think I have to go through all my PS games and launch them again. Ow! It's not a place that I wanted to be standing. Yeah, owning games is great. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm going to stop using Steam, or it's not like I'm going to stop spending money on Path of Exile 2, which is a free-to-play game. But I do try to limit said purchases. Dark Sucker. That is the name of this rare mob we are currently engaged with. Sometimes the random name generator does better or worse than better. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. Take a lot of pride in it. Well, as a good collector, you should. As a good collector, you should. I saw a really interesting... what was it called? It was like a retro reproduction console. Excuse me. But it was using all... like reverse engineered chipboards. So instead of just using like a retro Pi to emulate the hardware and then running your emulator on top of that for your retro console, whether it be a simple matter of emulating just the hardware and then letting the software, your actual parts, do the work of programming that, or whether using just like a chip and jamming your ROMs in there as you see fit. It was actually trying to just be the hardware itself, and then you can use normal carts, or you can use reproduction carts or chipsets, what have you. It was doing its best to be a reproduction of like all of the consoles, not up through PS5 or whatever, but basically through the PS1 era, because I think the discussion was that this sort of reverse engineered chipsets fall off after the PS1 era, just because there becomes much less of a need to do it, since the PS2 era forward, the hardware never really mattered. The hardware was just a computer. So it's not as necessary to use a dedicated chipset. The discussion got really deep into some of the chips on the SNES that still hadn't been reverse engineered properly. So while the reproduction console is doing a good job of playing the SNES, some games still behave unusually. Very likely the 3D FX stuff, your Star Foxes and your what was the ball? Even Super Mario Kart had a little bit of that. I forget what the name of that chip was called. They really touted it on their on the box art. When if you look at Super Mario Kart, it's basically just a flat plane, and they're moving cardboard cutouts around it. But because that's a 2D plane and then a 3D sprite in the XY axis instead of just the YZ axis, that was a big revolution back then. And they ended up with a lot of, in the discussion of it, there was a lot of back and forth between people saying that if you try to do software emulation, it doesn't work because it's not the same as the hardware. And then a lot of people who are like, if you're using basic software emulation, yes, because your average user who wants to boot up, as an example, Earthbound, doesn't really care that everything is one-to-one. They're not like a speedrunner, and they're not worried about any of the induced hardware lag or things like that for like Super Metroid and other games where it's an important part of the community. But there absolutely is software that does do that. It's just that the vast majority of people don't need that level of software-based emulation. And so we end up in a situation where people who are selling these retro consoles are sort of using that as a selling point. Like, this is a more authentic emulation experience. And it was a very interesting conversation being had over whether it's on the community, that like the preservation community, regarding their ROMs and their emulators, to get the average user more acquainted with higher tier software based emulation, or whether it really doesn't matter. And ultimately, none of this matters. And at the same time, it absolutely matters, because keeping games in the condition that they were originally meant to be played is kind of a big deal. And it's why we need to get these companies, especially who have live service games, there needs to be something that forces them to turn over their software or their code, so people can keep those games going. Much like Need for Speed's recent snafu. Was it Need for Speed, or was it The Crew? It was The Crew. EA's team up racing game that they took offline, and they lost a lawsuit, so they had to give the community the server details or something, because I know you can still play the crew for free based on what ultimately shook down the community and EA regarding that game. And video game preservation is important because companies aren't going to do it unless it makes them money, which means a lot of games that are incredibly niche or indie are just not going to get preserved at all. And that's a big problem, because, you know, cult classics and remakes and things. Like, one of the big discussions about Bloodborne, which is a PlayStation-based Souls-like that a lot of people love, and a lot of people have stated that it's one of the worst Souls-likes, but because, you know, because it was so janky, they want it remade. By the way, we're going to Clicker Town, so look away. There's a strong chance that, or there's not a strong chance. Everybody in the community currently believes that Sony has lost the code, as in they just don't have the code anymore, which is, I think, the case for Final Fantasies, one of the Final Fantasy VIII, I want to say, which one of the reasons why they said they wouldn't be doing a Final Fantasy remake of that one was because they would basically have to program the game from scratch. Which makes sense. You don't want to do that, but also, like, fans will hold on to this code for eternity for game developers. Much like every Pokemon is somebody's favorite Pokemon, every video game is somebody's favorite video game, and people will absolutely and happily hold on to that information forever, so it can be beloved by future generations, and we can learn from it. Because letting the companies do it ends up with really poor recreations, or just stuff like Nintendo utilizing ROMs that aren't, or not ROMs, using code that isn't theirs when they do their uploads. I forget which game it was where they released it on the Play Shop, and it was not at all, like, there was somebody else's code in there just to make the emulation work, which was hilarious. The shield seems good. And those things aren't okay. You can't just steal someone's code, it turns out. Who knew? Who knew? How did I end up on this conversation? Oh yeah, because of reproduction consoles. And video game preservation, which understandably is something that I'm passionate about. Because I'm old and I've played a lot of video games. And people should be able to play those video games if they want to. And also, one of my favorite ARPGs of all time got taken down, and the software is gone, or the code is gone. Rebirth Rune. Oh, regen per second. Nice. So we're just hoping for the scraps of details that we have to be enough to put it back together. Ding. Marvel Heroes. Marvel Heroes was the... Oh yeah, I need another jewel socket. Is the game in question. It was created by Gazillion Entertainment. One of the developers on it was... Shoot, what's his name? I can't remember, but he was one of the original developers for Diablo 2. They were partnered with both Marvel and Disney. So they had likeness rights for, well, not necessarily likeness rights, but they had character rights for the movie-based versions. So very similar to like Path of Exile in gameplay wise, but or in game type. In gameplay, vastly different. Just based on the fact that you were a superhero. So it was never meant to be particularly challenging. They wanted, and they focused heavily on making sure that, with some exceptions, you felt like a superhero at most of the time. So, you know, an example, or using Path of Exile 2 here as an example, where I'm slowly wading through packs of normal, just white name mobs. That doesn't happen. It never happened in Marvel Heroes. You would blast screens of them, of normal mobs like this, because you were a superhero. And that was really, really fun. The roster was very deep. They had a lot of incredibly cool superheroes for you to play. I was particularly fond of Gambit and Rogue, as those are two of my favorite X-Mans. It was a game that was probably always had a shelf life, just because of the Marvel license, and licensing is always a tricky thing. But the CEO was accused of being a bit of a dink, and so the game ultimately had to shutter its doors after a few months, or not even, I think a few years of semi-miserable sales, which was a shame because they did a lot of work getting it on consoles to open it up to a new console market, which at the time got some negative feedback from the community because, and somewhat rightly so, they felt that the devs focusing on getting the game ready for consoles would mean that there would be a lot less updates for the players that currently were playing the game, which was true. The new stuff sort of slowed down for a little bit as we waited for the console launch. Ultimately, the changes that they made for the console launch, with the exception of teleports, were pretty positive. Everybody ended up enjoying the game quite a bit more. One of the bigger one of the things that they did was they made it so characters could only teleport infrequently. So we had a cooldown on our teleport, similar to our dash roll. But a lot of what the game had evolved to, on the PC at least, was playing characters who had really lengthy, like from corner of screen to corner of screen teleports. And you would just blink through maps because it was easy to do. You'd get to the boss, you'd kill the boss, you get your loot, you do it all over again, which was something that was very prevalent in Diablo 2. David Brevik was the name of the developer. I knew I would get there eventually. And he had a very big hand in creating Marvel Heroes. A lot of his fingerprints were all over that game, and it helped make it. He helped make it a much better game. The teleport fiasco was a big downside. People were understandably grumpy about that. Because slowing down a game, and this is something that Path of Exile 1 has a problem with, which is one of the reasons why Path of Exile 2 is the way it is because they did want to slow it down. I have a package, but I don't know from who. Anyway, once you've the song, I didn't turn the volume down. Oh, there we go. I almost died because of that. There, now you can hear just me if that's what you want. One of the problems with a game like this, well, with any game, but very specifically with a game like this, is once you've sped the game up, people do not want it to be slowed down. Like, at all. So everyone, when they made that change, they were pretty upset about it. And I don't want to say rightfully so, and I don't want to say unrightfully so, because everybody's got opinions on how they feel about, yeah, we want 25 damage all the time versus 40% of the damage when they're on lower health. Yeah, everybody's going to feel however they feel about a thing. And some people are going to be fine with things slowing down, and some people are going to be fine, or some people are going to be adamantly against it. And neither group is correct. Some people enjoy a slower gameplay, and some people want the gameplay to be quicker. And so you're gonna alienate players, regardless of what you do. If you leave it too fast, you'll eventually lose the people who enjoy slower gameplay, because it's just going to keep getting faster and faster and faster. And if you slow it down, the people who enjoy zooming across an entire map with teleports and then blasting the boss in 30 seconds and repeating that 200 times in an hour, they're going to wonder why I have to spend 5 minutes killing a group of white mobs in a rare. Or even, much like Path of Exile 2 here, where it takes me 30 to 45 seconds to kill a rare. That's going to be far too slow. No one's wrong in that discussion. No one's wrong. No one's right. Everybody likes what they like. Some people like vanilla. Some people like chocolate. There's the happy medium. But it's also important to remember that if you make a game for everybody, you make a game for nobody. So you don't want to have it so the people who want to go fast are never able to go fast, and you don't want it to have the people who enjoy slow, methodical, challenging gameplay are never really challenged; they're just delayed. So that's a fine line to walk if you're going to walk that line. And in fact, I would almost never recommend in anything game related to walk a happy medium. All things in moderation works for life. It doesn't really work for games, because games are something that for recreation. We play games sometimes for the extremes, and sometimes for the coziness of it. But we're generally not super interested in Euro Truck Simulator. I'm well aware plenty of people are interested in Euro Truck Simulator. That was just an amusing dig at a very lovely community. I do want to say the people who get into those sorts of games, they get into them, and I think it's fantastic. So they made the change to our teleports, and unfortunately the community that they had built up, because it had been that way basically from the beginning. We had long range teleports since the inception of the game. The community of people who played Marvel Heroes was very used to its quick teleports and its quick game. And because of the console limitations, they had to slow that teleport down. The console players couldn't blink 400 times a minute because it wouldn't work. Technical reasons, and then probably just mechanical reasons. You're not able to flick your controller from one edge of the screen to the other as rapidly as you are a mouse. So that alienated a lot of people, which caused a lot of blowback in the community. It caused a lot of refunds of what their player packs were, and they never really recovered from it. The game was in a better state overall, but the damage was done. And so they sort of just bled out for a little bit, and then ultimately they died when the CEO ended up being a dink on top of that, which was definitely a bummer, because the strong prevailing theory or feeling is that if the CEO had not been a dink, we would have been able to salvage the game, either from another company picked it up, or, well, probably just another company picking it up, honestly. At the very least, the code would have been available instead of them just turning the lights off, which is what they did. They shut it all down, and they were like, "All right, this is over now. Bye." We got until the end of the year, so we everybody got a chance to play all of the characters and whatnot, which was kind of fun. But it was definitely a ooh, that 90 life on some gloves is pretty good. We can pull that. So we lost that game, and we've been sad about it for a while, as you can tell with me talking about it this whole time. Like, that game's been gone for, I want to say, 6 years at this point. But that was when we lost that game. That was when game preservation didn't necessarily go to the forefront of my concerns, because, you know, I've loved games my whole life, and I do my best to hold on to them. But it was one of the bigger ones where I've spent a lot of money on a game, and I have literally nothing to show for it. I can't even play an offline mode of it or anything. And that's a bit of a bummer. I don't regret the money I spent. Excuse me. The game was a lot of fun, and I happily shelled out my ducats. Just regret the way it ended. And so the further we get from that happening to somebody else in the future, the happier I'll be. Which I feel like the industry is taking a really big trend towards live service games becoming a lot rarer. Whatever the EA one that just released, I think it was like something cross lockdown or X lockdown or X something. I don't know. X Defiant, got it. I knew I would. X Defiant, where they literally were like, "Hey, this game's gonna last forever. We're gonna support it," and then something like 2 months later, they're like, "We're shutting the doors." And then the Sony-based one that was basically dead on arrival. People shut that down, or they had to shut that down because of the massive loss that they were taking every week they were keeping the servers up. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. That was another big flop. And so we're seeing these AAA live service games just continue to tank. And game companies aren't going to stand for that for too long before they switch their trends. A big trend that I feel like we're going to start seeing is the AAA companies not releasing as many blockbuster style releases, because the money for one is there, but the money for all of them isn't there. We'll still see big games all the time, but I think we'll see a lot more smaller team indie style releases from companies, which is good. Hold on, my nose is currently stuffy. Pew! That was a lot of nose blowing. Apologies, everyone. I also don't want to go back to town yet, so we'll just keep on keeping on. Um, like I said, I think we're going to see a lot more smaller team indie style releases. Big projects aren't going to go anywhere naturally. The potential to make way too much money is still there, and you'll need those sorts of big system sellers to, well, sell your systems. But even that era is sort of going away, just because it looks like Xbox is bowing out of the market. And that's just going to leave Nintendo and Sony. And while Nintendo and Sony aren't exactly amicable competitors, they have such a big niche that they've each carved out for themselves that I don't think they directly compete in any realistic way. The fact is that most gamers will end up buying the Nintendo system and whatever the PlayStation is or the Xbox has been in most cases anyway. Nintendo's just kind of always there, so there's not going to be a lot of direct competition between those two studios, which either could be a good thing or a bad thing. Competition is healthy. But the big studios, if they are doing smaller indie releases, that means hardware isn't as big of a concern. So Nintendo's preferred style of making do with less expensive components to mass produce and get their stuff out the door might serve them well in the upcoming generation without the big tentpole releases. But if those are all being released over on the PlayStation anyway, or the PlayStation/PC anyway, it's not really going to be a concern of theirs. We don't need the latest Naughty Dog release on Switch. So it's not really necessary. Search for the Molten Vault is what was being asked for that quest. I didn't Brock, what do you say? Ooh, I feel like I've been talking for a long time. Part of that is because I just popped all of my lungs out while blowing my nose there. I'm not even sick. It's just very strange. Maybe I'm having an allergic reaction to something. Maybe I'm allergic to streaming at 2:30 on a Monday. Oh no! Oh no! Oh my god! I just saw the Ditto in a top hat. That's amazing. That is quite perfect. Bastion, if you're hearing this, you need to get that turned into an emote yesterday. If you don't, I will. I don't know what the emote's supposed to be, but... which is to say, I'm not entirely sure what I would use it for. I could be. You don't know, Shirley. I used to be allergic to tests. Not really, mind you, but I had a very long string of sneezing during... I don't even remember the class. I think it may have just been all classes. Whatever class I was in, and we had a test, I would sneeze. And it went on for so long that I basically brought tissue whenever I had a test coming up because I knew I was going to have to sneeze and blow my nose. No one can actually be allergic to tests, and I'm sure it was just something like psychosomatic or what have you, but it was a very amusing joke for me. Speaking of Mario Brothers. That's Nintendo's big property. That looks like I should be able to cross it on the mini-map. I'm guessing this wall comes down after we kill the boss over here. Either that or we loop around. Let's find out, as I imagine this is a boss fight coming up. Ooh, cash. Rejoice! Step forth, true believers, unto Edziri's grateful shadow. She alone shall shade you from the pains and ills of this world. By her grace and hers alone shall you be given eternal. Fun fact, this statue has 4 boobs, which is the canon number of boobs Edziri has. Just because. It's a very Path of Exile thing. Edziri killed all of her followers to make herself immortal. So, that's just a lie. Oh, I guess we're not to boss yet. We're gonna be shooting some mooks first. What would I have ordered that would just be arriving? It had to have been a while ago if I've forgotten about it. I do tend to remember the things that I ordered. Also not on Amazon. Chat, would you like to mindlessly speculate about what I ordered? Or what just arrived? Mindless speculation. That mob blended into that shadow perfectly. It's really annoying. Trouble. Hey, it's Doedri. Interesting. They reused her model. Huh. Kind of cool. Ooh, this essence, or this monster has 2 essences inside of it. Inside of you are 2 essences. The one that wins is the one that Krillin loots after I've murdered. Essence of the Infinite was first. We are in Flicker Town. Everybody look away. Avert your eyes. It's almost always when I go over those steps. And then it's sometimes when I talk to Savvy. Ugh. That bow's stinky. 22 life, 5 strength. Nothing else of note. Yeah, that's a pretty easy one. I have leveled up, so we could get something. Nope. $15 of damage is extra lightning, 73 spell, that's pretty good. 68 crit, that's really good. Life killed, mana regen, and mana. That's basically everything I want in the staff. How much is this going to cost me? $16,000. My sorceress better appreciate what I'm doing. +4 to lightning skill gems? What? My sorceress uses cold skills. Ooh. Alright, we're gonna make this rare. Boop. Charges is fine, but we need gauge charges per who's it. Nope. Put them away. Staffs was at the end? Apparently not. There we are. This is getting awful full here, folks. That's a fine jewel to put in, I guess. Plague cut. An emerald. Or maybe it's plaque cut, I'm not sure. Ancient carving. Hey, there's it, Ziri. When we first came to this place, death alone was the king of all we surveyed. Solomon, his high and lonely throne. We had little, and were starving, but this man-made mountain offered us nourishment. Eating the caps and stems brought us grand visions of a thriving world. It was a promise of things to be. This, then, will be our new home until our promised land is made real. Oh, they're eating mushrooms. That's probably good. By the way, mushrooms have very little nutritional value. Not zero, mind you, but not usually enough to sustain a person. You use them as flavor or just as a meal that you are okay with adding something that isn't necessarily strictly for caloric intake. Which is why in foraging situations, survival-based foraging situations, don't forage for mushrooms, forage for nuts. This mushroom looks edible, famous last words. Ooh, I don't like anything that was happening there. I also don't like which direction I've moved myself into. Hill composite bow isn't gonna last us too much longer. It's holding on. We're doing really well with it. Oh, we've got things exploding and we've got colors all over the ground. Got a red mushroom and a green mushroom. Does one make us grow taller and one make us grow smaller? Although that was a mushroom and cake? Potion? Yeah, eat me, drink me. It was a mushroom and a potion. Ding! 44. We're so high level. Lightning resistant, huh? I'll see about that. Well, that one's bigger than you. Reminder for those of you who are interested, our Goosebumps book club is happening this Thursday. We will be reading Welcome to Deadhouse, the first Goosebumps book. If you need a copy, let me know. We'll be discussing it. We'll be watching the episode. We won't be able to watch the episode for all of the Goosebumps books that we read, just because they didn't do like a one-to-one. But when the episode exists, we absolutely will. It'll be a lot of fun. That does remind me, I have to, well, I guess I don't have to, but I would like to get a series of book club style, not necessarily questionnaires, but things to talk about in a book club. Discussion topics, there we go. Sort of like leading a discussion. So I need to look up a good list of things for us all to chat about when we're discussing Goosebumps. I feel if we're left to our own devices, things might get gloriously off topic, which is fun. But every now and then, it'll need to be reined back in. The gentle crone, a rare spark of kindness. Oh. Okay. Well, she's letting me kick open all of her cauldrons.
I'll let you be the one to taste test these.
These look surprising. So I put in all the mushrooms and out came flasks. Bubbling respite. Nice. We're also looking for the Queen of Filth, who is very assuredly not at 0. Instant recovery, reduced charges on use. Nope. We're looking for charges gained per 5 or whatever it is. Shirley, if you could remind me to locate discussion topics for the book club after the stream, that would be smart. I'm sure I'll remember. I'm known for remembering all of the things that I say. But just in case. Oh, you were a rare and I didn't even know it. Oh, evasive. I'm just actually missing some of my attacks. Ooh, new life flask? No. Not even close. The recovered instantly is, of course, a big get on a flask, but I just don't think that the difference between 657 and 374 is. I definitely won't vendor that one, as I'm sure one of my characters would be happy to use it. But now this character is. Are those like chaos frost bolts? I'm not really sure what that attack is. It doesn't explode when I walk through it, which is usually what those style of visuals indicate, a volatile of some sort, but not those. Not those.
Take this.
I am hitting them, right? Yes. There. They're dead, and I didn't even really have to fight them. That's how we do it. Ranged combat, baby! Is this link that you've provided me give us a good list of discussion topics? Also, the fact that this already exists is absolutely wild to me. I know there's nothing new under the sun. I did not think that there was already a book discussion monthly, by the way, which is what we're doing of Goosebumps book. That's hilarious. There truly is nothing new under the sun. Thank you, Shirley. Old carving. The promised land is bountiful, blissful, overflowing with potential. My brethren surround me. We are one, experiencing the entirety of time all at once. Even as I write this, I am on the cusp of transcendence. The script before my eyes morphs into illegible symbols, and I cannot stop laughing, rejoicing in the bright future that I know us all to share. These people just got really high on mushrooms, and that's it. That's the whole story here. Pyro Mushroom Cultivator. Yeah, but is there cake? Surely is there cake? Conjures lightning storms. That's very rude. I'm the one who conjures lightning storms. Level 11 skill gem. All right, now we've got new shots that we can look at. We can check out Tornado Shot. Fires a skyward shot that whips up a tornado where it lands, dealing physical damage over time and hindering enemies close to it. Arrows and bolts fired at the tornado are sucked into it, causing the tornado to spit out a nova of copied projectiles. Copied projectiles cannot be copied again, even by further tornadoes. So this one seems like I could replace either Freezing Salvo or Rain of Arrows with it. Just summon a tornado, have it stick around, shoot arrows into it, deal some additional damage. How long does the tornado last? Maximum duration is 7 seconds. It disappears. It disappears after being hit 7 times. Projectiles deal 50% less damage, and they have a maximum current distance of 6 meters. Could be useful for like boss fights. Shock Chain Arrow fires a lightning-infused arrow that homes in on shocked enemies. Hitting a shocked enemy will consume the shock to charge the arrow, causing it to release a damaging shockwave and split beams toward up to 2 nearby targets, prioritizing ones which are shocked. If the beam hits a shocked target, it will release another damaging shockwave and can continue to chain. Converts 20% of physical damage to lightning, cannot change. Arrows always pierce while flying towards a shocked enemy. It will do 100% of my damage, which is to say 80% of my damage as lightning, and chains up to 10 times. And then the shockwave does 121%. So neither of those seem particularly amazing. I do like Tornado Shot. That's where we're just as another shot that we can use, similar to what we were doing with Freezing Salvo. Freezing Salvo, we were just utilizing as a button to press, more or less, and Tornado Shot can fulfill that role just fine. Yeah, I'll put projectile speed on for now, but I think I'll do something like increased duration. So here's what it looks like. You can see the little tornado there, and then presumably, oh, that was it actually. I was wondering if it released its final barrage in a bit more of an epic fashion. It just kind of spits them out as is. Huh. It's a little disappointing as far visually speaking, I mean. You know what I mean? I feel like the tornado, 1, should be bigger, and 2, when it collapses, so to speak, it should do a final flourish of sorts. I don't see myself utilizing it for packs. We'll see how I feel about it for bosses. The thing about bosses, of course, is that we don't shoot projectiles so much as we just shoot Stormcaller arrow at them. Almost exclusively. We will do bow shot when we run out of mana, but it's mostly just Stormcallers. So it has limited use in boss fights. I guess we could be using it instead of Lightning Rod, but that feels a little strange. Lightning Rod is basically all we want to do. All right, Blinky time. Get our inventory emptied really quick. We got a lot of flasks to fuck with. None of those? Okay. $55 increased spirit, but it gives us 11 purity of flame. That's so much worse than a minion. I'm really quite upset about that, but it's fine, I guess. We did level. Let's see if we get a new bow. Nope. This one here has potential. 57% increased physical damage. Do I want to spend $2,000 on a gamble? I suppose we can. I suppose we can. We have plenty of cash. It's fine to it's fine to gamble every now and then. You don't want to gamble all the time because then you run out of money entirely. Periodically. So it's worth it. Those boots don't have movement speed on them, so they're basically blank. Charges, nothing. Connecting to chat. Why would I be connecting to chat? Network still looks good. Okay, welcome to the chat room, it says. All right, yes, we are not. You forgot to eat? Well, go eat. Instantly reduce charges. Removes mana from life. That's just so. I'm not even gonna. So bad. Hey, look at that. Brand new mana flask. It's a good one, too. Crit chance. Okay. We don't really crit, but we're not too upset by that. That's a usable node. 10 mana per enemy killed is actually miserable. It doesn't necessarily kill the bow, but it is, like this one's got light ratings. Dude. Are you kidding me? we got light radius. We got flat fizz, and then we got a flat accuracy. Okay. It's not bad. I think we will whetstone it up a bit. So it's now got 104. We can use the martial orb in a moment, but I need to check. So Stormcaller arrows 404 with this. 468. Okay, so yes, we will be switching to this bow. The old Spirit Twine lasted a good long while, but unfortunately it has been usurped. Adds cold damage. Glacial Rune. Just make sure there's not a better rune. Leeches 2% physical damage as mana could be, like, because... Lightning Arrow only converts part of the physical. Stormcaller, okay. Okay. I think we're gonna go Glacial Rune, and then we're gonna go, Nah. We're still fine just using Mana Flask, right? No, yeah. Let's try and make it so we can attack nonstop. That's a bit of a gamble. Not like an end of the world style gamble or anything, but sell this to Servi, because it's bad and it should feel bad. Skills panel, turn on our heralds, and then we've got another socket for our bow support. And then we should switch something on Tornado Shot if we're ultimately going to utilize it. Which I don't know. Chain pin. And then, I don't know, something like poison maybe? Where's my chains? Something is already envenoming. Is it barrage? Which of my skills is envenoming? Oh, it's rain of arrows. Okay, never mind then. Maiming, that's the one that slows him, right? Yep. Sporting skills have more accuracy. I don't think I need accuracy. Okay. Leeching as mana is also pretty valuable, I feel. Any tier 1 gems that we would enjoy? Less cost. Bowshot doesn't have a cost. Literally free. Well, now that's actually kind of interesting because we're building pin with it. So I think I might use leverage.
Get ready.
That could be fun. Leverage. There we go. Just add some crit chance to our bow. Did you know I've already been streaming for an hour and a half? I feel like it's clearing the little guys a little bit quicker. Like usually that was a 2-shot kill. Now it's feeling like a 1-shot with the explosion. But I am always in complete awe of how quickly time flies whilst I stream. Now I will be. That was Kefka's laugh. Nice touch. I will be stopping probably after 2.5 hours. I'm pretty sure I'm only gonna go till 5 this afternoon, or maybe if we're close to finishing the act a little bit longer. I might be back later tonight for a extra special evening bonus stream as well. I guess this would be the extra special afternoon stream is definitely unusual. An evening one is less unusual. A withered carving. I remember the before times. We bowed before Aziri, who bowed before Noah. The mother is the one true queen. She's the one who brings solace. She's the one who grows gifts for us. We must keep eating them, for they bring pure delight. Oh no. Okay. Quicker than one might anticipate. I believe she will be dead shortly. Ease peas. I just did the world a huge favor. Thank you. No, you're extra special. We're all special. We are all each individually pretty darn fantastic. I appreciate all of you who showed up during what I imagine is most of your workday. Even just to say hello and hang out with for a little bit. Very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. I'm not actually choking up. My throat is just deciding to be very strange. Though you all are pretty fantastic.
Take this.
Foul Sage is right. Grab the mana flasks. Although I think we hit, yeah, we hit the mana roll. The life flask that we need now. Although we will keep grabbing them because if we get another one, our next character. There's just this area, and I don't know if there is anything over here, but we're going to clear them, of course. There is a... I guess there's not, in fact, a sub-quest here, apart from the potions one. It'd probably be. Funny. Money, 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 money. All right, we have cleared this area. It is absolutely going to be faster to town portal there and back again. Oh, speaking of fun things, I watched the Rankin and Bass Hobbit on Sunday. So just yesterday, I guess. Absolutely fantastic. Such a fun movie. I would very much recommend, if you have not ever seen it, to give it a watch. Especially if all you've seen is the Peter Jackson Hobbit films, which are not super great. They're not bad. Calling them bad is unfair. But they're not super great. They miss the point quite a bit. They miss the point quite a bit. So there's a molten vault in here that I need to find before I donate my door to Elva. Which is annoying because now I'm just down 2x2 inventory slot. So I'm as mad as I've ever been. I'm as mad as I have ever been. I know I was breaking open rotten logs there. So I really shouldn't have expected anything worth anything, but I did. And I don't know if the problem there is on me or is on the game. If I were playing D&D, and I described a rotten log to one of my players. And they're like, I run over there and kick it open. I don't know that I would reward them in any meaningful way. So I can't feel bad that this game doesn't. Because it's a rotten log, folks. Not a treasure chest. In Path of Exile, I will give myself at least a little bit of courtesy. The rotten log is being highlighted as something to interact with. In Dungeons and Dragons, it's very unlikely that I would have made the rotten log highlighted in a way that it was meant to be interactive. Now, this does mean, and it runs into the problem of any tabletop RPG, that anything you describe, rotten log or otherwise, is something the players are going to take notice of, because the only thing that the players get to take notice of are the things that you describe to them. I'm slowly reversing my thought on this as I think about it more and more, because now I'm in the opinion, or I'm in the thought process that they didn't just say, I want to make a search check. They talked about their character going, oh, well, I guess I'm assuming in that case. Depends on how they approach it. Depends on how they approach it. If it's literally, I run over there and kick open the rotten log, maybe I do give them something. I would regret doing so immediately, because almost everyone I've ever played with would then kick open every rotten log within a 1,000-mile radius for the rest of it forever. We're gonna switch to the non-refreshing. No, that just feels silly. That's a good flask. I want to point that out. That flask is quite tasty. But I think we're gonna leave that delightful little snack for somebody else. Perpetual charges is just too good. Oh, hello, fish monsters. I was sorting my inventory and talking about rotten logs. I also feel like I should have fostered the environment where if I describe a rotten log singular or plural, to my players, they should be immediately suspicious of the rotten log and probably set it on fire, because there's a strong chance it's a man. That, of course, is a joke. Or is it? You'll only find out if you ever play Dungeons and Dragons and I'm your DM. Or more, hopefully, not hopefully, more likely, more likely. I'll go with more likely. With the upcoming release of TMNT and Other Strangeness, that should be here sooner rather than later. Your storyteller, I forget what they use for Palladium. No, storyteller's Cthulhu. I thought it had an acronym similar to DM, but I forget what it was, or what it is, I suppose, or what it looked like. What was it? It's not DM. I can't remember. All right, presumably this is the way to the Temple of Filth, but first it's Rage Visage the Filthy. That's just a great name. And his pack of wolves. It's very quick-moving wolves. Level 10 skill gems? I don't need those at all. We're good on 10s. We are good on 10s. This is not how you retreat. You don't retreat down unknown corridors. How? How dare you? No one makes me bleed my own blood. Door. Is this just the foul quarters again? We already went. We went these last time. This zone was loaded. That's right. Filthy giant things. I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. I believe this is just back to the apex of filth, so this isn't where I need to go. I wanted the Molten Vault. In hindsight, I should not have gone to the apex of filth without finding the vault, but how could I have known? If you say looking at the map, I'm just going to be mad at you, so don't say that. There's like a shot line. I don't know. Wow. You were in a hurry to die, weren't you? It's like the edge of my health globe. If I go past that, I can't shoot. And I'm sure that's just a preventative, not preventative isn't the right word, but a concession to ranged attacks. Being like, yes, you can shoot from very far, but you can't shoot forever. More foul quarters. Why do mushroom people have piles and piles of gold? They have no need for it. Their currency is probably mushrooms. Or maybe hugs. I don't really know. Hugs would be a strange currency, but a welcome one to say the least. Would a hug-based currency arrive because of the relative scarcity of hugs? Like, would it be because of a bunch of people were unable to hug? Or would it be strictly because of for love of the game, so to speak? I guess we'll just grab this staff. because, you know, gold standard exists because gold is valuable for a couple reasons, both jewelry wise and useful in electronics. Admittedly, not useful previously in things like electronics, but going forward, we mostly have moved off of the gold standard. But one of the reasons a person could argue for it to continue its usefulness in modern day consumer electronics. So, like, the adoption of the gold standard is because of its rarity and its beauty. So, I would have to say the society just wouldn't be able to hug very frequently for some reason. Maybe they have very weak arms. And that increases the value of their hugs. That would make the most sense. In so much as anything I'm saying makes sense. Wow, this flask has the best roll and then the worst roll. So that's nice for me. Alva, can you take this? Can I, like, talk to you? You're not up here. Alva, you're the worst. That's not true. Right? So, like, it would have to be, it'd have to be people who, peoples, whom value hugs because they know how awesome they are, but can't get them easily. Maybe they only have one arm. But even then, you could do like a side hug, or you can get a very warm embrace. Porcupines. We solved it. A society of porcupine people. They understand that hugs are amazing because they're mammalian. But they can't give hugs because of the porcupines, the spines. Actually, are porcupines mammalian? I think so. Well, now that I think about it again, they're rodents. Still, warm-blooded. Soft. They have fur. They likely give live birth, not eggs. Presumably, they raise their young for at least some amount of time. I don't know if you can milk a porcupine. Shirley, can you Google if porcupines are milkable and how much a gallon of porcupine milk costs? I would really like for Scattershot to allow me to shoot more than 3 arrows. 3 arrows has worked quite well, but I miss the absolute torrent of arrows that you got in Path of Exile 1. Admittedly, we're still pretty low level, so it might come around. We might get more in other ways. Storming arrow. And this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We were talking about them, well, several times today. What is this link? I assume this is the answers to the questions that I asked. Oh, okay. I do have a question. First, make sure the porcupine has been rendered immobile with a non-lethal dose of teledamine and zolazepam hydrochloride. You milk a porcupine as you would a cow, only gently and by using the tip of the thumb and forefinger. All right, porcupines are milkable. Is there any concern about contamination of the milk with the injection of the aforementioned narcotics? That would be my follow-up. And then the follow-up to the follow-up. How much is a gallon of porcupine milk worth? Apparently the milk is priceless since only this one person does it. All right, good to know. I mean, I imagine gathering an actual gallon of porcupine milk is nigh impossible. Just because of the sheer volume. Like you wouldn't be able to keep it. Well, yeah, I mean, you can pasteurize it and refrigerate it, I suppose. Is this QC's half-orc assassin? No. Assassin isn't even a class. It's not even a class in Dungeons and Dragons, dude. There's rogue. Do you mean half-elf rogue? That's a good point. QC does own a zoo. So of the folks most likely in my chat to have milked a porcupine, QC is at the top. Oh, I got a point to spend. Oop. That point gave me movement speed. We're moving quicker. That 3% definitely was 3%. We're starting to feel the break point, which is nice. Where are you on that list? Well, Shirley, you have done and continue to do a lot of strange and unusual things. And I can fully see you having a veterinarian friend that would ask you the question, do you want to milk a porcupine? To which you would say enthusiastically, yes. So you're high on the list, for certain. Porcupines are one animal you've never owned because they scattered their poop everywhere. What do you mean by that? Like they don't poop in a corner or anything? So they end up with poo throughout their cages? That would be obnoxious, I suppose. Fashion does that too, that makes sense. I had a question for you. Oh no, I had a statement for you earlier, Bastion. I assume you're making that that Ditto in a top hat, Doug Ditto Bro or whatever his name is, into an emote. Yeah, that's the one. Is Bastion a porcupine? That is a great question. They literally throw it? Why do they do that? Is it like a territorial thing? Follow-up, have you ever been milked? I don't know if that question's appropriate for my stream, Shirley. We are entering the flicker zone. Everybody look away. It is if it, well, I don't think we've seen Bastion on stream. We are aware that Bastion is not a Porcupine. Did like half of my items just disappear? I'm gonna have to go back and check the VOD on that because it looked like some of my items just stopped existing for a moment, which I don't appreciate. You've seen how much he loves Heavy Chugs, and they are his cousins. He only enjoys Shadow the Hedgehog, and Shadow is genetically engineered, so he's barely a hedgehog. Wow, that's a lot of life. What? This is a level 40 armor. What's like a level 70 armor going to have on it? 200 life? Wild. Am I a Porcupine? I could be. None of you. Well, that's not true. Surely he has seen me. So Shirley would know whether or not I am a Porcupine. But the rest of you can only speculate. I would be shocked if Mrs. K doesn't let you turn that into an emote, because it is a fantastic bit of art. Shirley has hugged me, that's true. Can confirm. You got to give them constant baths because the poops gets in between their quills and can cause infections. That, I mean, giving an adorable rodent that you care about a bath isn't exactly a downside, but I could see it being annoying. Just because, as with any animal-based chore, it is and becomes a chore. Vile laugh the devourer. Or like vile laugh the dad. Got him. Where in the name of all that is good is holy is this temple of... Found it. We did it, everybody. It is Kamasa, the monkey god. Even I'm tempted to do it. No, I'll just die horribly. It's you that's got to go in there. Give it a look around. If you find what I think you'll find, and if you clear out any dangers, we'll all be rich. Okay, let's do it. The Molten Vault, eh? Ooh. Remember that scene in the Hobbit movies where the dwarves surf on a river of molten gold on a shield? And that's just not how anything works. I just imagine that portion, I guess surfing, rafting is the more accurate word. I just imagine that section of the movie being storyboarded because, you know, somebody had to write this and then get it made into the movie. And during that meeting, nobody was like, what? Do you know how hot a river of molten gold would be? Physics are different for dwarves. So one could argue that dwarves have heat resistance. It certainly wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility that a dwarf would be slightly more able to withstand the heat of molten metal. Because, well, they're dwarves. They work with molten metal. That makes sense. But it would be so hot. So like a limited heat resistance, sure. You know, maybe they've got cook's hands and they can pull out a cake pan from the oven without. Well, they burn themselves. They just don't feel it because, you know, their hands are completely removed of nerve endings. And maybe their skin's a little thicker, so they can supplement some wounds. Gold melted sentinel. But you can't ride on him. You can't ride. It was a metal shield as well. So it's not insulating them against the heat that they're surfing on at all, or rafting. Again, I call it surfing. They weren't surfing, but it's the only way I can logically describe what's going on in that scene. I haven't thought about the Hobbit films in a while. Watching the Rankin and Bass animated Hobbit movie got me thinking about it because, you know, it's short. It's an hour and 12 minutes, so just barely, and probably with credits, exactly at the hour and 20-minute mark. So the time, the 80 minutes, that's what you need for both television and theatrical release, at least back then. That was the block of time that they had for. You could do multiples and you could do odd shapes as well, but that was the de facto standard. To the point, it never really dragged on. Animation was charming. And Peter Jackson turned that into 3 films. That was a joke. Haha, bad chance. All right, let's empty our inventory again, because we're still. Oh, never mind. Our. Did we lose our? No, we somehow it must have got claimed. That's very strange. Like the door bit is gone. Interesting. Interesting. Hopefully I can get into the area without any hiccups. Still alive. Is that good? No, not particularly. It's not bad, but it's not good. I've just been informed that Bastion's cat is a drone. Shirley, are any of your cats drones? Finnegan McDronigan? Doug Ditto drone? Not just New Jersey. Those drones have been all over the place, apparently. I believe I saw something that mentioned that they interrupted, like airplane or air travel last night. Was that last night or a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago? Charlie has room in his skull. Well, there is certainly an empty cavity right between his eyes, but I think most oranges have that, don't they? Whole plate. Me at Thanksgiving, am I right? Trembling Mall. Just like all the malls across America. Oh, that just makes me sad. He might have been. We're discovering all sorts of things. Mostly about drones. Has anyone in chat piloted a drone before? For Christmas one year, we had one of the little tiny ones that you could control with your phone. I believe it made it like 4 months before it got broke, which was actually kind of impressive. Just because they weren't the most durably built machines. And that's both by design because it has to fly, and by design because they want you to have to buy more than one of them.
Now this will come in handy.
Stone Surge the Dry? Our dude's got eczema and they give him a name about it? That's brutal. I went with the cleaner version of what I initially thought, and I just want chat to know that. Oh, sure. He could have a bit of dry wit about him. State of sobriety. Can you get a giant statue drunk? That's the question. Hey, buddy. How's it going down there? You look like you're made out of gold. I feel like I'm going to murder you. Sluice gate lever. Oh, I'm going to murder you in the worst way possible. It doesn't actually want me to go down there, does it? What are you doing? River of Molten Fortune, the sum total of Utzal's wealth. Hold on, I gotta switch. Am I going to have to, like, slowly run? Yes, that's super cool. And then he gets cold and runs into it to, like, make himself move faster. He's not moving faster. I figured he would have been quickened by the gold. That's kind of sad. There's still chime. They could switch it. All right, you're just dead. That was a fight, I guess. All this heat, and I barely broke a sweat. Wow. I murdered him with my arrows, and then I murdered him with my words. This is an awkward shaped thing, and I don't think there's anything I'm going to be able to do about it. Not really. Okay, so couple notes on that fight. One, they need to make the gold move faster. Two, the boss needs to move faster when he gets all molten formed, because that would be substantially cooler. I think that's it. Those are, I said a couple notes. I provided a couple notes. Can I walk on this? I shouldn't be able to. Oh, I can't leave. Okay. We can use a waypoint to go back around, but I don't think there's any other I think that's just the one boss. So check the world screen quick while we're loading in. Okay. Mechtool the Forge Master was it. Finished him. Keep whatever I can carry, huh? Cool. Reforging bench. Destroy 3 similar items to be reforged as a new item. Well, we haven't seen that before. We'll have to look into utilizing that for something. Did I level recently? I don't know. Yeah, I bought a crossbow. And I saw this robe. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. What do we got? 20 minutes left? We had a pretty good stream today, I think. All right. We run all the way down. And I believe this is the reason why we get the flickering, is because of the multi-layered. And now we talk to Elva, and she's like, well done. Go to the Temple of Gopek. Oh, I guess we don't have to. Can we complete Act 3 before the end of today's stream? Because it's the afternoon. Find out together and all that. My normal stream end time is 11. It is, and I've been thinking of adjusting that, but for now, the streams will say. I think Sundays are ripe for a change. Everybody's in bed by 10, and so the last hour of my stream, which is fine. I don't want to stress, or sorry, I want to stress that you're all welcome to go to bed, and you should. But the last hour of my stream is pretty quiet. It's pretty quiet. In response to your question, I might be back for a second stream later this evening. We will see. I'm gonna, eat dinner. I'm gonna watch my episode of the Arrowverse with beloved community member Latino Heat 4000, and then, depending on how we feel, I might come back. We might fire it up again. 2 streams in one day. What a concept. Could you all even handle that much, Krillin? Probably not. Honestly, the danger might prevent me from running a second stream back. If you stop streaming before, well, I would be stopping streaming at 10. So, really, it was really bright. Oh, was that like hurting me? Yup. Sure was. Okay, so interesting fact. We have to stick to not the shadows necessarily speaking, but we have to stay within the walls. There's the sun down here. Cool. My fire resist is not enough to live inside of it. We're gonna sneak this way. Ooh, I don't love that. Tell you what, Hat, if you gift 5 subs, I will stream for another 6 hours. I'll have to take a break to make dinner. But I will stream until 11 o'clock tonight. Oh, was that too much? Oh no. Actually, you know what? I'll change it. Because it was QC's suggestion. If QC donates 5 subs, I think it's a fair offer as well. Oh, we can hide in the shadows. This is really cool level design, folks. I like this a lot. The sun. All right, we're gonna have to run. Hot, 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 hot. Maybe I'll even order dinner, so I don't have to pause the stream for dinner to arrive. I would have to pause the stream to eat, but I wouldn't have to pause to prep it. Eat live on stream? Absolutely not. I don't like to eat in front of guests. Oh, the tornado was useful for getting extra range there. I don't know if it was strictly necessary, but it was useful. Oh, there. Okay, this is all I wanted to see. Is I wanted to get a look at the sun. Look, oh, it disappears. There's a sun inside this temple. Cool. All right. Stairs. That's what you did because you didn't want to stop knitting to cook? That's fair. That is totally fair. I guess little suns. That's how little suns are supposed to work. I just assume all suns are evil, so I'm guessing this one's also up to nefarious deeds. Always poisons, periodically explodes. Hot, 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 hot. I've dealt with our own sun enough to know that it is up to no good at all times. Got this. An inventory filled with garbage. But it's my garbage, so it's not like I'm going to throw it away. Okay. I almost tried to use a Quicksilver Flask. Don't have one of those. Oh, that's too hot. Okay. We're still taking... Excuse me, I don't think we were taking damage there, but our fire debuff did not go down. We are still taking damage. Run, 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 run. All right, we killed them. We killed everyone. More stairs, gross. I feel like we're getting pretty close to the end of this act. So even if it will take us over the 5 p.m. mark, which it probably will, I think we're gonna wrap it up. And we're gonna wrap the act up in any case. So you'll get a little bit of extra stream, even if it's not the amount that you wanted. We humbly await your return, oh great Kopek. I don't await Kopek's return. I don't even know who that is. Precipice of Power, the Burning Glory. Oh, okay. Okay. He charged up his laser and then he fired his laser. Now he's throwing some suns and some other lasers at me. Dude's got a full complement of lasers. What's this one? Doesn't matter, you're dead. Have I mentioned how much I enjoy Stormcaller Arrow? Doesn't matter, you dead. All right. Speaking of Stormcaller Arrow, let's level it up. Is 11's higher than 10? Yeah. Mrs. Killer, you're just in time for what is probably the end of tonight's stream. Tonight. I keep saying tonight. It's almost as though I almost exclusively stream in the evenings. Investigate platform. I can make out symbols for blood. Offering. No, not blood offering. It's someone of Val blood. Perhaps if I... Alva is of the Val Empire. Ooh, it worked. Now this is truly something. Oh, we're going up. It's an elevator. We are going to finish what I imagine is the end of this act. So we'll be going for a little bit longer. At least until 5. Probably a touch after if this act takes longer at all. We're back at the encampment. I can't believe it. We're right on top of this device the whole time. What? Oh, it's a time portal. That's why we go through the first 3 acts again. Yes. It's some sort of gateway. Oh, how incredible. I'm no coward. I will immediately jump into a gateway. Oh, never mind it. We're not going back to the first 3 acts. We're going to all in the past. 400 BIC, the reign of Queen Adziri. So this would be before the Imperial Cataclysm. Alva's very happy to see the city in its prime.
Oh, okay. I can't wait for this next one. This is sweet. Really, really like the style and the mood of the track.
And I'm going to probably kill a bunch of people's ancestors and ruin the entire timeline.
This is actually pretty sweet. Wow. Good, great percussion.
Unless I was always supposed to be here.
Like I said, the beat is tight here. Snap is just an amazing listening experience. Dude, this is epic.
Don't do that. I promise that will not go well for you. Oh, I was hoping to avoid conflict. Me too. I want to check the world map here. Okay. We've got at least one more zone, and we've got 2 mini bosses. So we've got a little bit more. We got a little bit more. We might end up going till 5:30 with 2 sub bosses. Although we could just try and get to the big boss first. Not hunt for the side bosses and just go to where we should be going. So we don't take up too much longer. I do need to go back to town and empty my inventory. Are none of the townsfolk that I talked to gonna be like, hey, weren't you just back in time? Oh, gross. I have to click the gateway to go back to the other town to empty my inventory. That's miserable. Yeah, I guess. At least I get to move around during the loading screen. That's somewhat useful. You know me, I'm always trying to minimize my clicks. I don't think... Yeah. I don't think we've leveled since, but we're getting close. Nope. 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 No. And no. Alright, 5 flasks, all missed. Why would... It's fine. I guess it logically makes sense that the town portal that I opened just goes to the top of this pyramid and then I have to go through the gateway again. But why make us click that gateway, right? Logic be schmargicked. Yeah, that was a strong sentence. What if... Never seen a heart that big, even from an animal? Well, that just doesn't seem correct at all. It is a big heart, I will say that. What if the Alva that we're interacting with in Path of Exile 2 is actually the younger Alva? Because the Alva that we interact with in Path of Exile 1 already knows about time travel and was... we use her blood to go back in time to find the Temple of Exile. So I'm wondering if we're doing a river song and we're interacting with Alva in reverse. All right, that's a checkpoint. Do you think that's the way forward, or do you think this is a sub boss? Let's find out together, shall we? Or is it just treasure? Uramati's quarters, home of the architect of the expansion. More like Uramati, person who's been mugged. How would we be able to tell? Well, it would depend a lot on the dialogue. Because of the way she's behaving, I have a feeling like that's the way this is going on. Because she was shocked when she opened a gateway up there to send us into the past. We'll see if more dialogue confirms or denies that, but I could see them going the River Song route, where this is the younger Elva, because this is in the future. This is after the events of Path of Exile 1, and she shouldn't have been as surprised, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Also, she might have, or she likely should have been comfortable around exiles to begin with. Though we're not the same type of exiles as we were in Path of Exile 1. Poe 1, we were a very specific type of exile that was banished from Oriath for crimes, which was a normal practice in Oriath. So, like, exiles were a thing. And not just because they wanted to save on voice acting. It was because they wanted to save on voice acting, but because it was so normal to have exiles around. At least when you were on rate class. Can be exchanged with Oswald. Oh. I found some gold for our boy Oswald. Evan Eyes the Ever Thirsty. More like Evan Eyes the Filled with Arrows. Got him. I do love watching Elva run up behind someone and try to knife them and just do a really poor job of it. Like, thanks for your help, Elva, but you're good. Maybe just keep your blood inside of you, so if I need to go home, I have it. Although I suppose there's a lot of Val around here. I could take their blood. Nope, there's no way for me to grab this bow. I will leave it on. Actually, no, I'll switch it for this staff. Because the bow could roll really well.
Take this.
It won't, but it could. Ding. Yeah, I'll do this. Carry on. All right, which one of you is invisible? Top of the smoke clouds. Toxic quiver, 15% chance. Chance to poison on hit on a quiver feels strange. Just because if you're poisoning, you're going to be doing it directly, so you don't need it as like a chance. And a flat amount of damage is always going to be better than something like that on your quiver. I guess if you just roll a good one, you're poisoning, but I can't think of an end game use for something like that. All right, I'm tired of my inventory being full. Let's go empty it. Oh, it's just a bunch of gold. That's actually kind of cool. Oh, that's terrible. I'm not even gonna keep that. I like that quite a bit. Oh, that one's good. That I'll place my monk's staff, I'm sure. It's just a pile of gold. That's really cool. I mean, it would have been cooler if it were like a skill point or whatnot, but sometimes things being flavorful is more important than them being characterically powerful. You know not what you do. A great darkness comes. You meddle with what has been, and who knows what will happen because of it. What is dead should stay dead. Close the gateway and leave it alone. Maybe I can bring your son back. But no, you're right. Messing around with time is canonically a bad idea. Reduce charges and recovery rate. Not bad, but not what we're looking for. Oh, come on. They're up here at what? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I believe we're going... Do we need the accuracy rating? I don't think we do. Bow shot is as good as any. Main chance to hit. Not critical. 100% within 2 meters. Can we go further? Anyway, that's probably fine. Mark damage, stun buildup, mana leech. It's not bad. Some charm buffs. I don't know specifically where I'm going. This is a cool node. 25% % more skill speed. That's both spells and attacks. While offhand is empty, and you have a one-handed martial weapon equipped in your main, so you can be a duelist. I guess we just go to this projectile damage node, probably. Like, it's what, 2 away? Either this way or that way. And then we can grab, like, elemental damage, and then probably this, and then maybe this node. All right, yep, we've got a path. It does mean we've got a little bit of what is likely a pathing issue. We can refund these by the looks of it. Because we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then we'll have these 2 back. Let's grab this. I think I wanted, like, int. Was it int or strength for something? I think it might have been strength. Let's do strength for this one, and then we'll do int for the next one. Just to get some extra stats that aren't dexterity, as we have plenty of dexterity.
Take this!
You're just a minion? You're lightning resistant. I was like, why are you not dead? I do have a question. Does that mean your boss is also going to be lightning resistant? Where is your boss? Well, here's a boss of some sort. We know this person. Viper, I've fought you probably 100 times. Maybe 1,000. I don't think this one's gonna go any better for you. Oh, okay. Are we attackable again? Ow. And now we're closer? Or the area's a touch smaller? Are we doing this again? Oh, you did back to back? Rude. And then we're smaller even still. This is a cool fight. I like it quite a bit. You're running out of tricks, lady. And I'm not running out of arrows. Phew. All right, we still got to go and find the special areas, and then we got to rescue Alva. we can't leave Alva here. She's theoretically our ticket home. So Viper Nalani. I don't remember what her name is. I know that her first name is Viper. She is one of the characters of the Eternal Conflict that is frozen in time, forever in battle. And I believe she died fighting the Eternal Empire. I don't remember how she died. But because she was a great warrior, she gets instead of going to heaven or hell or any of the other numerous places you go in Ori or in Ray class when you die, she got transported to the domain of Eternal Conflict, where she gets to fight for eternity, but not in like a fun way. Like the ancestors of the what are their, oh goodness, I can't remember the names. Anyway, not like the Trial of the Ancestors, like the less fun. This is kind of awful. I wish I didn't have to fight forever, sort of way. So that's a bit of a bummer for them. There were two bosses or two side things in this zone, weren't there? I thought so. I really want to check the world map, not murder random mooks. I guess we're going to 5:30. Yeah, we got Naptuazi. Napuazzi. There we go. You know where to find it. All right, so we got to find the Chaos Statue to burn this heart.
You gotta be kidding me!
Oh, goodness. Hello. Safety Center, thank you so much for the follow. Hello, how's it going? Whew. You have alarmed me with your follow. Which happens every time. I don't have sound alerts on my stream because just my normal stream alerts. I'm never gonna stop, just Poe forever. Well, I'm gonna set a hard limit at 5:30. No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Startling me is basically the best part of following my channel. Sure, there are streams and stuff, but secondary to briefly alarming an internet stranger. Also, good to see you back. Hopefully you've been having a good day. Keeping busy or not busy, whichever you would prefer on your Monday. I know some people like a busy Monday because it makes the day go faster. I always prefer a slow Monday because it let me fall asleep. But to each their own. Much like some people enjoy coffee, which that's just weird. But I get it conceptually, if not in practice. You're setting a field on fire and escaping on your horse. You'll never know what happens when you try to leave for town. Okay. Sorry, are you leaving for a different town or for the what town are you leaving for? All right, we've full cleared this map. So wherever the rituals statue is, we seem to have missed it. It might be in the next zone. The character and campaign you started when you first joined your stream. That was a while ago. that was a long time ago. I think I kept track of it in the Discord. Hold on. What do we got? Arrow QC. Oh, QC was a half-orc assassin. Is this why QC keeps talking about a half-orc assassin? Nobody ever understands what that person is doing. Comrade defeated a goblin bandits with some quick thinking and clever spellcasting. Sets on the ground on fire. Take the wagon off to ride past the hazards. Oh yeah, because you were a magic item seller. Okay. It's all coming back to me now that I read the things. It says Elva on my mini-map, but she's clearly not here. Which is a bummer. All right, so magic item seller. Oh yeah, you had an employee who got locked, and that's what you were after, right? Oh yeah, I absolutely did not realize, not even slightly, that that's why QC kept talking about a half-orc assassin. I may or may not have at some point on this stream mentioned that my brain is like Swiss cheese. I do need to reiterate that from time to time. I'm like a goldfish. I remember almost nothing. The only thing in my brain at this point is card games and how to play Path of Exile. That's basically it. That's the true reason why I'm waiting so long to read Welcome to Dead House before the book club. If I read it any time before this week, I would have forgotten all of it by now. I still might. You finished it today? Nice. I'm looking forward to seeing how this this book club goes, as it was completely a lark put together by Bastion and I. I don't even remember how it came about, apart from my general enjoyment of Goosebumps when I was a young Krillin, before I trained in martial arts. None of them should be bad. None of them should be bad. There'll be several of them that aren't good. But the majority of them should be at least sort of like watching a bad episode of a sitcom, enjoyable. You're gonna need to, Shirley. You've only got, what, like 3 days? I forget what time we have it scheduled for. I think like 6:30 on Thursday. What time does Bastion stream tonight? In an hour? Oh, I'm not going till 6:30. That's not happening. thought briefly about if he was starting in a half hour, maybe extending this till 6. But seriously, this act does not end. I've been in Act 3 for 4,000 years. Because it's 5:26. I said I was posting a hard limit at 5:30, so that is when we will be stopping, or at least winding down for the most part. I'll try to get to another zone. I should be able to find a waypoint. If I don't, I'll find one off stream, so it's not like I'm gonna lose this level's progress. You gotta go, Scissors. All right, have a wonderful rest of your evening. We'll see you next time. My normal scheduled streams are on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Sundays. So feel free to join in at those. Bonus streams as I see fit, and almost completely at random. But either way, have a good day. Have a good day. So, one of the monsters turns into a smoke cloud? Is the person streaming here? Yeah, I'm here. What's up, buddy? How can I help? What can I do for you? Time is money, friend. Glad you didn't miss me. All right, well, good. Hopefully you're feeling well rested for your stream tonight. That you're emoting a shaking booty at me. Well, I always appreciate a fine booty. You know how much I appreciate that cake. Getting into a weird mood. Have you had NyQuil? Or DayQuil? Alright, what are we leveling up now? Probably Lightning Arrow, as that's my primary attack still. Checkpoint. Checkpoint is not, and I need to stress this, is not a waypoint, but better than nothing. Weird hat time. What? Well, in an hour. We get to see Hat in an hour. Everybody gets to go and wind down from their jorb or their naps or watching Krillin. And then Hat will be there to cradle us through the evening. You're just gonna weird up my chat until then. You got exactly 1 minute. Well, actually, you got about until I find this waypoint. Which could be 1 minute, it could be 40. I don't know. I feel like I've gone so far. And in the end, it doesn't even matter. Actually, I think I want that one, and I don't want this bow. Actually, I think I want this bow. Okay, it's bad. All right, we've done it. I'm not going back to town to edit my inventory at all. We're just plowing through. It's focus up time. No, not even a little bit. Well, maybe a little bit. I'm not even locked. This isn't even my final form. I'm not even sitting up in my chair. Krillin can have different forms. We do love a good hype. Ooh. Like that? Is that good?
What purpose did these serve, I wonder?
The music always helps. Well, always might be a bit much. Mostly the music helps. Because OC Remix. Oh, snap. Wait. I have a question. Why does beloved community member Latino Heat 4000 not have a sub? I'm going to yell at that man. Also, thank you so much for that sub, Bastion. That is very much appreciated. Completely unnecessary. Your support is always appreciated, never expected. Yeah, I'm going to have some stern words. I believe he doesn't have Prime, which is why there's no sub from Latino Heat 4000. I should point out my emotes, all of them were created by Latino Heat 4000. So all of your Krillin emotes, you know, both of them are LH4K products. Is it just the stairs? All right, I think we've there's this area. Let's take a gander over here real quick, and then we'll go up the stairs. All right, no, I didn't think there would be anything, but there could have been like a path that gave us a section. I didn't want to miss that, especially because I've got this heart in my hands, and I still really need to get that out of my hands. And I would imagine, as we climb these stairs and get into the next zone, we should find a way, which means we'll be done with tonight's stream. Today's. I've got that wrong literally every time. 100% of the time, I have got that wrong. Which is not terribly surprising, but it is a little disappointing. Are you streaming Stardew tonight? I absolutely will be. That is the hypest thing I've probably ever seen in my life. Piano DLC and then Stardew. That's amazing. That is amazing. I am incredibly excited for that. We are in the flicker zone, by the way, so avert your eyes if flickering is an issue. I guess I don't actually have to do the inventory management. I can just move to my outro. Yeah, I will protect you from the flickering because my inventory management does not need to be the last thing you all see on stream. We can just shout out rainwave.cc and ocremix.org and all of you wonderful people who showed up for a Monday afternoon bonus stream where I went for 3 hours and 10 minutes. Which was a full 40 minutes longer than I expected, but hey, that zone was big and I wanted to clear it. Big zone hype indeed, but we did it. We did. I'm really excited to watch you play Stardew tonight, buddy. It's gonna be awesome. As I said, I might, depending on how dinner and my show goes, I might have enough energy for another small stream to close out this evening. So you may even see me back at like 8:30, which would be 3 hours from now. So maybe that'll be cool. I can join Hat's Stardew playthrough as a multiplayer. No, I'd be playing Path of Exile. Ain't nobody got time for Stardew Valley. There's Path of Exile to play. Our regularly scheduled stream. Yes, I will happily. Well, we can absolutely do a multiplayer Stardew stream. That is the definition of my jam. Although if you're playing on like Switch, I don't know if crossplay is enabled through Switch. We'll talk about that later. What we're going to talk about now is my regularly scheduled stream, which will be tomorrow. And then again on Wednesday. So we've got those coming up. That'll be a lot of fun. Bonus streams might happen, might not. If they are, I might post them in my Discord ahead of time. I might post them literally 5 minutes before I go live, or exactly when I go live. Can Shirley play Stardew? I don't see why you couldn't. I do want to thank everybody for being here with me, and there were a lot of people, so I'm almost assuredly going to miss some of you. But I appreciate each and every one of you nonetheless. We had Comrade, we had Shirley, we had a beloved community member, Latina 4000. We had Mrs. Killer, we had Hat Bastion, who provided a gift sub. Thank you so much for that. We had QC, we had Bags, we had Errol with the lurk. Thank you for that. We had Safety Scissors with the follow. Much appreciated, my friend. I think that was everybody. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I missed anybody. If I did, I'm sorry. But I'm pretty sure that was all of our fine folks who hung out with me today on a random butt Monday afternoon. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate each and every one of you, which I've said numerous times, but it's always important to say it again. I'm going to see who I have, unless somebody has a suggestion to raid out to. I know the vast majority of you would only be staying for just a bit, but you should always raid out. That's cool. Back Tuesday, Wednesday. Remember, as always, be excellent to each other, and we'll see you next time. Bye! Justice? All right. Playing Monster Hunter? That sounds awesome. We'll send you over there. See the aforementioned bye, and we'll talk to you all.
Thank you so much for the raid. Bastion? Krillin? What? Yo, thank you so much for the raid, Krillin.
You gotta be kidding me!
Do you play Dragon Ball, I guess? I don't think we have met before, but I just followed you. Thank you so much. And Bastion, welcome back, friend. Hey, Krillin, thank you so much for the follow, friend. Hopefully your stream went well. Thanks for the follow. Likewise, man. Thank you for the follow as well. What were you playing? Feeling is one of my friends. Ah, it was. Oh, thank you so much, Bastion. I appreciate it.